He's America's best-known billionaire who's blazing a trail to the White House.
Donald Trump.
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 If we want to protect the quality of life for all Americans, women and children.
Tonight, widespread rumors circulating in the Twin Falls area that 3 Syrian refugees raped a young child.
And high schools all over the country are reporting refugees raping young girls.
The really chilling aspect of this is that it's going on now at all across the country.
Hillary Clinton's catastrophic immigration plan will bring vastly more radical Islamic immigration into this country, threatening not only our society, but our entire way of life.
I got stacks of articles of women being pulled out of cars, raped, children being raped. They're like, well, that's part of the radical Islamic culture.
Got to stop. They are not compatible with our culture. They hate us. They don't want to be Americans.
Migrants told police the reason they raped her was they'd had a bad day.
They enslave women and they murder gays. I don't want them in our country.
There's something going on and there's something wrong.
Cannot continue to allow thousands upon thousands of people to pour into our country. It's going to get worse and worse. You're going to have more World Trade Centers. It's going to get worse and worse, folks. We can be politically correct and we can be stupid, but it's going to get worse and worse. Till we are able to determine and understand this problem and the dangerous threat it poses, our country cannot be the victim of horrendous attacks by people that believe only in jihad. We have a dysfunctional immigration system which does not permit us to know who we let into our country, and it does not permit us to protect our citizens properly.
Said 3 boys aged 14, 10, and 7 were part of an attack where a 5-year-old girl was assaulted.
And have no sense of reason or respect for human life.
This is my country, damn it. And bringing in these people from other countries, if they don't abide by our rules, they need to get the hell back to their country.
I was a Muslim community spokesperson in Oregon, and obviously a mosque burned down right after his arrest, so we were suffering a lot of hate crimes.
Typical mentality of aggressors to present themselves as victims.
Is truly a moderate Muslim. She needs to stand up for women's rights. She needs to stand up for those who beat women, who kill women, who maim women, who genitally mutilate women. She needs to stand up and speak out about the kidnapping of the girls by Boko Haram that you are not speaking for. You are taking your place while you have access to the media, and you are here obviously because of your deception and lies and what you did at the Heritage Foundation.
They enslave women and they murder gays. Ask yourself, who is really the friend of women and the LB and LGBT community?
They caught the young person of the Paris bombings. When they caught him, he was in his neighborhood and where he grew up, and nobody even turned him in.
We will not turn on each other or turn on our principles.
And you can be politically correct if you want. I don't want to be so politically correct. I like to solve problems.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. According to Pew Research, among others, there is a great hatred toward Americans by large segments of the Muslim population. Recently, a poll from Center for Security Policy released data showing 25% of those polled agreed that violence against Americans, these are people that are here, by the way, people here, 25, not 1%. By the way, 1% would be unacceptable. 1% is unacceptable. 25% of those polled agreed that violence against Americans here in the United States is justified as part, think of that, as part of the global jihad. 51% of those polled agreed that Muslims in America should have the choice of being governed according to Sharia.
There's laws that they don't want to go by. They want to go by their own sets of laws.
Sharia authorizes such atrocities as murder against non-believers who won't convert, beheadings, and more unthinkable acts that pose great harm to Americans, especially women. I mean, Mr. Trump stated, without looking at the various polling data, it's obvious to anybody the hatred is beyond comprehension.
And tonight in Your America, it is the chilling video from a college campus right here in America. An unusual exchange between conservative David Horowitz and a Muslim student. Take a look at this.
Will you condemn Hamas here and now?
I look really bad.
If you won't condemn Hamas, obviously you support it. The head of Hezbollah has said that he hopes that we will gather in Israel so he doesn't have to hunt us down globally. For it or against it?
For it.
I would hit ISIS so hard you wouldn't believe it. I have great respect for Muslims. I have many friends that are Muslims. I'm just saying there is something with a radicalized portion that is very, very bad and very dangerous.
Is making a fundamental mistake of trying to blame all of Islam and all Muslims for what is the ideology and the actions of a minority.
There are 1.2 billion Muslims in the world today. The radicals are estimated to be between 15 to 25%, according to all intelligence services around the world. That leaves 75% of them peaceful people. But when you look at 15 to 25% of the world Muslim population, you're looking at 180 million to 300 million people dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization. That is as big of the United States. So why should we worry about the radicals, 15 to 25%? Because it is the radicals that kill. Because it is the radicals that behead and massacre. When you look throughout history, when you look at all the lessons of history, most Germans were peaceful. Yet the Nazis drove the agenda. And as a result, 60 million people died. Almost 14 million in concentration camps. 6 million were Jews. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Russia, most Russians were peaceful as well. Yet the Russians were able to kill 20 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at China, for example, most Chinese were peaceful as well. Yet the Chinese were able to kill 70 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. When you look at Japan prior to World War II, most Japanese were peaceful as well. Yet Japan was able to butcher its way across Southeast Asia, killing 12 million people, mostly killed with bayonets and shovels. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. On September 11th in the United States, we had 2.3 million Arab Muslims living in the United States. It took 19 hijackers, 19 radicals to bring America down to its knees, destroy the World Trade Center, attack the Pentagon, and kill almost 3,000 Americans that day. The peaceful majority were irrelevant.